This video contains spoilers to the plot of Kid Icarus Uprising. Palutena, goddess of light from the Kid Icarus series. Not too long ago, a few images of Palutena in Smash Bros. For 3DS were leaked. This has caused widespread speculation in the Smash Bros. Community, especially on Miiverse, where Sakurai has posted a few Kid Icarus related pics of the day recently, possibly suggesting he is aware of these images. Maybe they're coincidence, but maybe not. If Palutena does end up being a playable character, what could she do to fight? Palutena first appeared in Kid Icarus on the NES, where she was held hostage by Medusa and the Underworld Army. In her last efforts, she called upon Pit to save her, thus acting as a damsel in distress. In Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy, she takes on a similar role of holding back while Pit goes out and does the fighting. Speaking of similar roles, Palutena also sits back and guides Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising for the 3DS, except this time she actually talks to him using some kind of telepathy. Considering all of this, Palutena is most likely not suited for battle, although she does wield a staff and a shield. In Chapter 20 of Uprising, this all changes. After mysteriously being blacked out for 3 years because his soul was placed into a ring, Pit returns to find that Palutena has been possessed by the Chaos Kin, which caused her and Pit's body to go on a rampage. Pit is then forced to fight Palutena in the form of a boss fight, which gives us a look at some of the goddess's abilities. Firstly, you can see that Palutena floats on the battlefield, and that most of Palutena's attacks involve turret-like energy. She can create 1 or 3 spheres of energy above her head to shoot Pit, as well as a larger one with homing ability. One of her more unique attacks that would be really interesting for Smash Bros. Is another larger projectile that homes and shoots. In addition to these energy spheres, she can utilize vertical beams as well. One attack involving shooting 3 that spread, and another where she surrounds herself with one and attempts to ram Pit. Although all of her attacks are ranged, I found out that up close she can use a melee attack that involves moving upwards with energy rings. Finally, she also has the ability to spawn Centurions, her army's basic soldiers who fly and shoot slow-moving arrows. Of course, any of these attacks could be changed, altered, or combined to create all new attacks to better suit Smash Bros. But overall, based on these attacks, Palutena would be a mostly ranged character who would rely on spacing and defensive play. Throughout Uprising, Palutena has the ability to create grind rails for Pit, which allow him to slide quickly over otherwise untraversable areas, sort of Sonic the Hedgehog style. I think creating a small grind rail would be a cool way for Palutena to recover. Furthermore, Palutena carries a shield with her that shares a strong resemblance with Pit's mirror shield, so I wonder if it could have a similar functionality, considering Pit's down special has been changed to the Guardian Orbitars instead. To see an additional animation of Palutena potentially attacking, you can look at the Palutena Rare idol in Uprising, where Palutena can be seen floating, spinning, and then lunging with her staff. In case you don't know, this particular idol was available to Club Nintendo members in North America, but can easily be scanned as an AR card somewhere on the internet. Throughout Uprising, and also in the more obscure anime shorts, Palutena also uses certain powers. In the game, she uses her Power of Weak Point Exposure and the more obvious Power of Flight for Pit. In the anime, she uses Power of Caging and a Power of Maelstrom for rather gimmicky things related to the episode's plots. However, most of these powers are probably just made up by Palutena. Also in the anime, Palutena equips Wolf Claws, which is a weapon Pit can use in Uprising. However, she doesn't actually end up using them as they malfunction and explode. An idea I had for her final smash was to give her Pit's final smash from Brawl, and then give Pit the ability to use the Great Sacred Treasures as his final smash. Alright, let's summarize this probably rather long video. Although Palutena doesn't seem fit for combat at first glance, certain events in Kid Icarus Uprising reveal otherwise, and based on how she fights in Uprising, she would most likely specialize in ranged fighting and would have to be played defensively with a focus on spacing. Anyway, that's all I have for this breakdown of Lady Palutena. Leave your opinions in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.